We're going to turn now to the latest round of Iran nuclear talks amid the U.S. military buildup in the Middle East and threats of a possible strike from the White House. Chief Foreign Correspondent Ian Pannell is in the region. Good morning, Ian.
Signs of progress? Yeah, right, dude. Unless you mean like progress in the direction of bombing Iran, because that's the only fucking progress I've seen. At least with like fucking troop movements and whatnot. I gotta pee.
Yeah, good morning, Michael. Mixed messages after a third round of talks between the US and Iran amid this massive military build-up. Iran saying the talks went well and that there'll be another round next week, but the US side remaining silent, not expressing optimism publicly or in private, and not confirming it will take part in Monday's meeting. Meanwhile, ABC News learning the top US commander in the Middle East, Admiral Brad Cooper, briefed President Trump Thursday on potential military options in Iran, according to a person close to the president. A US official confirming to ABC News before the latest talks that Iran's offering to suspend its enrichment of uranium for a limited period. But remember, the president demanding no enrichment, no nuclear program at all. And as tensions rise this morning, the US Embassy in Jerusalem authorizing the departure of non-emergency US government personnel and family members from Israel. George?
Yeah, that's quite a sign. Okay, Ian, thanks very much.
Good evening. President Trump has said tonight he's not happy with the way that talks with Iran have been going, but he still wants to secure a deal. More talks are planned next week, overshadowed by the threat of U.S. strikes. With American forces built up in the region, Britain has closed its embassy in Iran and also moved some diplomatic staff and their families from Tel Aviv in Israel. The U.S. Embassy in Israel earlier urged...
Yeah, notice how this is like the opposite of signs of progress? They're like, oh, the talks seem productive. Meanwhile, every other fucking more consequential movement is in the opposite direction of productive.
Staff to leave now if they want to, joining other nations in encouraging people to go. Let's go live now to our U.S. correspondent, David Blevins, who is in Washington. I mean, David, obviously the U.S. president has mentioned attacking Iran for quite a while now. Do you get the sense, is there a sense in Washington that things are escalating?
Well, there is one word we are hearing rather often from the president, and that is the word but. He says he's not happy with Iran, but not rushing to conclusions. Instead, he's going to wait for further discussions to take place. He says he would love not to attack Iran, but in his words, sometimes you have to. And also adds that it would be wonderful if Iran negotiated in good faith, but right now they're not getting there. That's what the president has had to say. He's on his way to Texas to take part in an energy event there. But let's just listen to what he said leaving the White House a short time ago.
Well, we haven't made a final decision. We're not exactly happy with the way they negotiated. They cannot have nuclear weapons, and we're not thrilled with the way they're negotiating. So we'll see how it all works. I guess you could say there's always a risk. You know, when there's war, there's a risk in anything, both good and bad. We've had tremendous luck with myself.
The only thing you're wrong or losing is because you are a Muslim and you talk to religious Muslims like a white man talking to a veiled woman about freedom. Lol, I think your religion is rock. Is your rock on the foot? What? Brother, do you know who you're talking to? Like, who? Do you think I'm like I'm drunk, hello, chat, vote PCP? Yeah, you must be fucking drunk. He didn't even ping you, just doing it for the love of the game? Yeah. Motherfuckers say shit like Islamophobia was made up. Yeah, no, it's... I mean, how can you look at this situation and read it as anything but like, yeah, I see you talking, but your name is Hasan, and that's a hang up I can't get over. It's a Canadian far-right party. Good luck to you, chatter. Like that right there is a perfect depiction of how racism is like truly a major filter, and it causes your brain to work in very unique ways. It causes your brain to like not see the information in front of you. It causes your output to reflect the output of a stroke victim, like John Fetterman or something. You know? Like, I believe in religious tolerance, but it's not a secret that I'm secular, you know? But this guy sees someone by the name of Hasan and immediately goes, oh, you want to do like forced head coverings or whatever kind of fucking fantasy he has in his mind about what it means to you know, come from a Muslim background in general. Insane.
Khomeini, al-Baghdadi, everything's worked out, and then we do the Midnight Hammer and so many others. Everything's worked out, and we want to keep it that way, but we're going to see. Look, it'd be wonderful if they'd negotiate really in good conscience, good faith and conscience, but they are not getting there.
So the President of the United States sounds like a man who is undecided right now. But of course, we've been hearing conflicting messages for quite some time. 9 months ago, he said Iran's nuclear capability had been completely obliterated. Now he's expressing concern about its nuclear capability. A month ago, he told people in Iran to keep protesting and said help was on the way. That help never arrived. And just this week...
Yeah, help is on the way. Hellfire missiles, baby. Hellfire missiles, baby. We're gonna help you guys so big. We're gonna help you guys more than you've ever been helped before. You're gonna say, please, sir. Please, please, no more help is what you'll say. And I'll say, I'm gonna keep helping you. I'm gonna keep helping you no matter what. Yeah, Hellfire missiles, more like help fire missiles. Stop joking about this. 30,000 people died. Okay. First of all, that number is absolutely not correct. There is no official, with the exception of the American government and the Israeli government, there's no, like, even Western-backed NGO that has arrived at a number like that. Okay? That's number one. Number two, you're right about the second part. 30,000 people will die, probably in the first round of fucking bombing, if Donald Trump actually, you know, gets his wishes across.
In his State of the Union address, he said he needed to hear sacred words from Iran that they were not going to build a nuclear bomb. Of course, Iran has been saying that for a long time now, but there is intense speculation that a strike could be imminent because of the largest buildup of the US military in that region since the invasion of Iraq back in 2003, and because various nations are advising their diplomatic staff to leave if they have the opportunity to, or while they have the opportunity to do so.
David Blevins with the latest from Washington. David, thank you.
Over the last few hours, the drums of war have been beating all the louder across the Middle East. The United States has withdrawn non-essential staff from its embassy in Jerusalem. Britain has withdrawn all of its staff from its embassy in Tehran. The Israelis reportedly are moving vulnerable patients out of some of the hospitals into safer areas. And so as we look...
This guy said, goddamn, I was a pedophile Nazi. Dude thought I was pro-Israel for a second, I think. He thought I was like, you know, one of these groypers who's like pro-Jeffrey Epstein or something.
Across the region, we can see that there is a sense...
He thought I was pro-Trump.
Something warlike is about to happen fairly soon. It might all be a bluff. Of course it might. But if so, it's a fairly elaborate bluff, because the United States has got two carrier strike groups, one, the Abraham Lincoln, south of Iran. It's got the USS Ford, the carrier strike group in the Eastern Mediterranean, and it's got bases all over the region. Thing is, it can't use most of those bases because the Middle East governments won't allow them to be used, so it would have to launch strikes from its carriers and from other bases further afield. It's even sent...
U.S. Colonel confirms the soldiers clogged the toilets on purpose? What? Who is the U.S. Colonel? Colonel McGregor just revealed sailors on board USS Gerald Ford. I don't think this is... I mean, it could be true. I just don't think that any guy on a panel like that is going to be... He's going to have the actual information. No disrespect. Also, speaking of Kirako, did I say his last name right? Ex-CIA John... not Curacao, it's Kirako, right? Kirako. Is it Curacao? No, I don't think he says it's Curacao. I thought it was different. Anyway, he's going to come on the broadcast. He said yes. Very excited to... Kiriakou? I need to fucking figure out how to say it before he gets on. I'm so bad with that shit, though. God fucking damn it. Anyway. He's gonna... we're gonna set up a... We are going to set up a broadcast.
F-22s. This is the aircraft that they won't sell to anyone else in the world. And they've got F-22 sitting in Israel at the moment. So it looks as if something is going to happen. But although they're poised for what could be a very destructive and even a long attack, something lasting 2 or 3 weeks that would go after Iranian air defenses and then Iranian infrastructure and then maybe go after all of the regime nodes themselves, the understanding is that the Americans would probably take some losses if they did that. There would be deaths, there would be damage, they might lose some aircraft, they might have damage to ships. So the Iranians are making it clear that they could do quite a lot to make this very expensive for President Trump. And the Iranians are also indicating, of course, that they might even block the Strait of Hormuz. They could actually bring the whole world economy into their retaliation, and they've threatened to do this before. Blocking the Strait of Hormuz, 20% of global energy, mainly oil, goes through the Strait of Hormuz, and that immediately will put a strain on the world economy. Not likely that they would do that immediately, but if the Americans had a longish attack on Iran, they may well decide to do it and retaliate in general across the region. And many other countries in the region are very nervous that this might set off a really unstable sort of domino effect. So ultimately, this comes down to a personal battle between Ayatollah Khamenei and Donald Trump. These are two naturally autocratic leaders who don't accept very much advice that they don't like. And it's possible that Trump has been bluffing all the time. It's possible that these drums of war are all to increase the pressure on Khamenei. But at the moment, Khamenei looks as if he's not going to rush to do a deal. He's going to hold off on that. It looks as if Khamenei is calling Donald Trump's bluff. And if he is, then Donald Trump has got to spend the weekend making some very careful decisions. If he is bluffing, he's got to find a way out. But just maybe it'll turn out he isn't bluffing after all.
Well, here in Jerusalem, in fact, across the Middle East, there is nervousness about what happens next. Will America and Iran come up with a deal? And if they don't, and
surely Iran will retaliate this time. I mean, I do think that they will. The reason why I think Iran will probably retaliate this time is because they already did this song and dance, and they came in all restrained, and obviously when they did the restrained counter, in the 12-day war, that didn't lead to any positive results for them. As a matter of fact, the only thing that happened was mass instability that came afterwards as well. The American government put even stronger sanctions on their economy. So I do suspect that they recognize that they're cornered. And sometimes if you're cornered, the only way you can get out of that corner is by fighting your way out. So that's my suspicion. But having said that, there is unlimited restraint oftentimes from the Ayatollah, so we shall see.
Maybe even if they do.
Retaliated with what, man? It's a suicide mission. Wait, what? First of all, the 12-day war was infinitely more beneficial for Iran than the way it's presented in mainstream news. As a matter of fact, they've come to that conclusion. They've come to that recognition. Even Western media has come to that recognition as of late when they constantly talk about how little they have in the munitions to defend Israel and to defend the American bases. Okay? Because this isn't just about being able to have tremendous offensive capabilities. America has that tenfold. America has that unlimited, virtually unlimited supply. They have 400 fighter jets. They have bombs. They can strike targets with great ferocity. This is not the issue. The issue is, in the aftermath of striking targets on Iranian soil, will Iran be able to turn around and strike back against Israel and punish Israel? Will Iran be able to strike back against American assets in the region and punish America? Will Iran be able to take out naval assets, for example? That is incredibly costly. That is what they fear. And they clearly do not have the defensive munitions to, continue a long-standing bombing campaign. What's your number of deaths? Like, what number will you start recognizing the brutality of Iran's government? Let's say 30,000 number is wrong. What do you think? 10,000 people is not fucked enough to get massacred in 1 week while they cut off access to the internet, while they kill civilians? If you can point to any moment where I have not said that this is unimaginably cruel, 10,000 deaths is not unimaginably cruel, I will give you $10,000. The fuck are you talking about? What is wrong with you? You always do this. I refuse to ban you, even though you're so fucking annoying. But like, I have recognized the cruelty of the Iranian government. What the fuck is wrong with you? As a matter of fact, that's my argument. I say, you just say the 30,000 number is wrong? No, that's not the only thing I say, except you want to present it as though that's the only thing I'm saying. I always say, even if the number is in the thousands, even if the number is 2,000, even if the number is 3,000, that is completely unacceptable. What the fuck are you talking about? That's why I said, find any moment on this broadcast where I've simply just said, oh, it's just 2,000, shut the fuck up, and I'll give you $10,000. Yeah. This was Amit Segal of channel or N12 News, who said, so you're telling me that when push comes to shove, after years of strategic alliance, the American base in Doha is packing up and moving to Israel because Qatar isn't really a partner in the effort to prevent a nuclear Iran. Who saw that coming? I cannot believe the arrogance, dude. I cannot believe the arrogance coming from any Israeli that has the audacity to say such a thing. Okay? No, I never said that. You say it like that. Language matters in this moment. Okay, stop. I don't know what you're saying. You're being silly. The sheer arrogance from Israel to say such a thing. I said, maybe they wanted to go see where all the American tax dollars for healthcare go. Like, I wonder why the American assets are moving away from Qatar and like Bahrain. Perhaps the reason why they're doing that is because the only place that they care about in the region is fucking Israel. And that's why they're moving their assets to Israel, because they know they have to defend Israel no matter what. Perhaps that's the reason. Perhaps that's the reason why everyone is moving to fucking Israel. God, the arrogance. It is unfucking bearable, dude.
Is war going to break out? So we've come here to Jerusalem's old city, a place of Roman walls and echoes of past conflicts, to ask people what they think is going to happen.
I'm expecting they're going to attack. Like probably they say a few days going to attack. So I hope okay.
You hope so?
I hope, yeah.
Why? Why do you hope?
Because Iran is, they give all the money to Gaza or the Hamas, so everything all comes from them, all the money. So I think you need them to take off the head and make a better world.
I'm not going to say anything, but it's hard. It's hard for me to not say anything, but I'm not going to say it. Listen to me. Listen to me. You do not know what you are demanding, okay? You think things will be fine. You think the Iron Dome will hold. You do not understand that there is a high likelihood it does not hold. You are begging for it, okay? You're begging for it. I don't think you also understand how the world will react to it, because if there's any indication of the 12-day war initially, if the world's reaction to the 12-day war was any indication, I don't think people are going to turn around and say, "Oh no, how did this happen to Israel?" Okay? I think there are a lot of people in the masses that will most likely look at this and go, well, what can we do? You begged for it, you demanded it, and now it's happening. Like whenever Israel says, oh, we can do this without you, I say, fuck yeah, dude. Please go right ahead. I mean, please try. See what fucking happens. See what fucking happens. Play stupid games, win stupid fucking prizes. It's crazy. Like, where is this arrogance coming from, man? How are you this fucking delusional? How are you this delusional? How are you this repulsive? Your ideology, so odious. Your entitlement, so irresponsible. God damn, man. Fascism is such fucking maximalist brain poison, really. I mean, look. Maybe we'll see it. Maybe we'll see the day. Who knows? The arrogance and delusion. Let's call out the bluff. Pull the THAAD batteries out. Pull 2 aircraft carriers away. Tell the Arab states that we don't care whether or not they have peace with Israel. Yeah, let's do it. Please. Please, I beg of it. I beg for the day. Pull out. Pull out of the region. Let's get our fucking tax dollars to be spent elsewhere on U.S. soil. I'm on board. I'm on board. Oh my God. Go ahead. Make my fucking day. This is true. Israel's already preparing for a new era in U.S. relations. There's a myth, convenient for many supporters and opponents of Israel alike, that Israel hangs by a thread of U.S. support. It hasn't been true for a long time, but arguably it never was. Take, for example, 1948 to 1967. Israel's inner strengths, sense of purpose, innovation, fertility, and... fertility. We are Israel. We fuck so much. This is why, also, by the way, notice the age demographic here. Okay, that's a very young Israeli Jew. Okay? For the rest of the world, young Jews living in the Western world are moving away from Zionism and actually becoming very woke on the issue of Israel. They're becoming anti-Zionist. Under the age of 35, when you look at like American Jews under the age of 35, there are more and more people. There's a majority of young American Jews under the age of 35 that self-identify as anti-Zionist. Okay? Israel is the exact opposite. where the younger base of support in Israel is more radical than ever before. Okay? This is why I have said before, time and time again, that Israel's future, okay, Israel's future is a nuclear-armed Orthodox state, okay, with some of the most reactionary and uneducated population that will never enjoy the academic trade, like the back and forth, the cultural exchange that Israel enjoyed for many, many years, ever again. They will be hyper isolated. They will be angry. There is no way out of it, okay? There is no way out of this. A punishment will eventually come. I just don't know when. At least at this point, like we're waiting. We're waiting for when it happens, but it will fucking happen because the alternative is nuclear Armageddon. You're describing Japan? No, I'm describing the opposite of Japan, as a matter of fact. What are you talking about? Israel has been able to withstand the normal like replacement rate issues that many other developed countries have because they lean heavily into their less educated Orthodox population, significantly more conservative, significantly more reactionary, straight up fucking fascist population. That's why when you look at the West Bank and the settlers, they're all so fucking young. Yeah, the demographic data on this is on my side. The next elections in Israel will have the largest influx ever of new voters. They are massively right-wing. A new poll conducted by Channel 12 shows the trend. A record 75% of first-time voters now identify as right-wing, compared to 68% of veteran voters. 49% prefer Benjamin Netanyahu as prime minister, while 24% prefer Naftali Bennett. Remember, Naftali Bennett is also a fucking fascist monster, okay? They don't even want like marginally more woke fascism. They want maximum fascism. Likud leads at 20%. United Torah Judaism is the second most popular party. The Democrats only have 5%. 80% of new voters expressing belief in God compared to 75% of veterans and 43% saying they kiss a mezuzah compared to 33% of veterans. 56% of new voters reported believing in the coming of the Messiah. 56%. They are literally, dude, it is our future if we straight up did not put a stopgap measure. Like, can you imagine America being run almost entirely by like the most rabid evangelical psychos? That's Israel right now. That's fucking Israel right now. That's what's going on in Israel. It's crazy. %46% of new voters say there was a betrayal from within on October 7th. 49% accept the prime minister's claim that cases against them are politically fabricated compared to 36% who don't. The young voters are right-wing, very religious, and love Netanyahu far more than veteran voters. The next generation will be even more so if the current demographic trends continue. Meanwhile, Benji Sarlin says, worth asking what changes this in the medium term. In the crosstabs, younger Americans are dramatically less sympathetic to Israel, but in Israel, younger voters are even more hardline than older voters. Recipe for acceleration. Where do we go from here? You know, they're fucking rabid. Schumer saying that he sees his job as making the left pro-Israel is roughly politically equivalent to him saying that his job is to make the left pro-life. Yeah. To give you a sense of how few Democratic voters are sympathetic to Israel right now, the percentage who want to ban abortion is roughly the same. Percentage who say abortion should be banned by party identification 2024, Dem leaning Dem 14%. Okay? Think about that. Think about that. It's identical. And guess what? You know who's also saying, well, we got to open up spaces for anti-abortion Democrats? Ezra fucking Klein. These guys are perpetually wrong. Where's my 10K boy? Oh, shut the fuck up. Sympathies more with Israelis or more with Palestinians. The number of Democrats that say they sympathize more with the Israelis at this point is at 17%. Of course, the main driver of Democratic elected support for Israel is not voters, but donors. 20 years ago, I used to bring up the Middle East at Democratic meetings and people would get tense. It was controversial. Now you walk into a Democratic meeting in a suburb in Marietta and 9 out of 10 grandmas will say Israel sucks. I'm not exaggerating. I've seen it with my own two eyes, man. I went to a fucking fundraiser, a Democratic Party fundraiser at like at a Hollywood producer's house. They were Jewish. Most of the audience, most of the fundraisers were Jewish. They all fucking hated Israel. When I walked in, okay, it was all old white people. I thought to myself, oh fuck, this is like hostile territory. They're gonna hate me. They're gonna be like, why'd you bring this like, Hamasnik into the fold? The Barbaras and the Deborahs are straight up. The Barbaras and the Deborahs are straight up on that fuck Israel tip. Remember that Iron Dome failing led to a real capital flight back to Russia and New York? Yeah, we watch this shit every day live. And these are sights that we might see once again if America keeps acting up. I'm just saying, especially at a time when Israel's popularity is so fucking bad, dude. Good luck. Good luck to Israel. Good luck to America. It don't matter how many people fear Iran. It don't matter how many people fucking fear what they perceive as like the Islamist threat. People fucking hate Israel, dude, for good reason. Israel deserves all of that hatred, all of that animosity. They brought it upon themselves. Meanwhile, I can't be alone in looking at the incredible sights from the Chinese satellites. Chinese satellites basically catch deckhands picking their fucking noses nowadays. I've never seen anything like it. I didn't realize the tech had advanced that much. It's crazy. It's crazy. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, you're you don't have enough assets on top of the aircraft carrier. Like, I don't know. It seems like the left wheel is not inflated enough on your F-16 fighter jet on the left side."
Would you, if America doesn't attack, do you think Israel should attack?
Yeah, I should, yeah. If we won't attack, they will attack us.
Are you worried or not?
Not really, but it's tense. It's tense, unexpectedly. We don't know what's going to happen in the next hour. So people, some of them are really scared. But what's going to happen?
That's good. Perhaps they should voice that concern by telling the government not to pursue such exterminationist policies. Like, the craziest... This guy is Arab?
Will happen.
Well, what I hear, yes, to be honest with you, what I hear from the news, from the television, from everything, I think yes. To be honest with you, nobody like war.
That guy's definitely Arab.
Nobody like war in all the world. Because my friend, war is kill everybody. Look, like Jerusalem, we was closing 3 years for the corona. We open 1 year, after the corona. We close now 2 years, you know, when we have the war again between Gaza and Israel. You know, the peace is the important things in all the world. The peace is the important things.
I'm not nervous or anything. I know I'm sitting and learning in yeshiva here. You know, I believe in God.
Ya Allah. Is that guy Arab? What do you think, bro? No, motherfucker. That dude is from Massachusetts. What are you talking about? He's like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. Can't you tell? What is this? Iran designated as a state sponsor of wrongful detention? What? They've already designated Iran as a state sponsor of terror. What? The embassy staff still? Bro, what is this? Are they lowering the status from terrorist to wrongful detention? Also, that's crazy ironic. Especially when it's Marco Rubio, who's Mr. Wrongful Detention. He is the state sponsor of endless amounts of wrongful detention right now, including yesterday and today and will be tomorrow. Breaking, the U.S. State Department has issued urgent warnings to its citizens regarding Iran, demanding that the Iranian regime immediately release all American hostages. The department also reiterated its call for all Americans currently in Iran to leave the country without delay and strongly advised any travel against Iran for any reason. I don't even know.
And I believe that whatever he wants to happen is going to happen. And so, you know, I think his plan's going to work. So
you're pretty relaxed.
I'm pretty relaxed.
About whatever happens, happens.
Whatever happens, happens. And it's his plan. So, you know, whatever happens, happens.
As the full scale of Jeffrey Epstein.
Is this real? What is this? Iran agreed in talks with the U.S. never to stockpile enriched uranium. Mediator Oman's top diplomat says in what he calls a breakthrough that he hopes would prevent U.S. war in Iran. Yeah, except as I talked to with Ben Rhodes last night, they keep adding additional qualifiers to this fucking mediation process because the goal of the mediation process from Israel's side is not to actually reach a conclusion. The goal is the opposite. Remember when under the leadership of Barack Obama, they did reach a conclusion on the enriched uranium process. They did. It was called the JCPOA, and it was very effective. But that wasn't actually the goal. That's why the Israelis fucking lost their minds when that goal finalized. Remember? It already happened. We've already gone through this. God, American politics is so fucking stupid because I feel like I'm just like repeating the same shit over and over again and proving it with absolute certainty. Wait, what? Was there a F? I didn't experience it. What happened? Did people... It might have been a regional thing? I don't know. Netanyahu didn't visit the White House a record 7 times in the last year to get a nuclear deal with Iran. The focus has been on regime change war with the U.S. military all along, folks. Yeah, 100%. Not only is it regime change with a military decapitation strike, most likely, with no assurances for how that regime change is going to happen. No, plan of action after that takes place, for the record, because Israel doesn't give a shit about that. They just want to destabilize Iran. But also, they don't like any pretense of like deal making here is idiotic. I don't know if the Iranian government understands that reality, maybe they think that like all the American back and forth and like Trump's appetite for a clean hit and no like additional military intervention, like no commitment to a permanent military occupation is going to be the way that they get America to pull back. But like, you don't bring more than 50% of your fucking naval assets surrounding Iran and Israel to protect Israel and to attack Iran without wanting to use them. Okay. In this moment of high tension, Secretary Rubio is not planning to take reporters on a trip to Israel, in a rare break with decades of precedent for secretaries of state. Personally, I've always found that the State Department correspondents are well informed on the details of complex national security stories they cover and uniquely able to handle the nuance of sensitive diplomacy. It is a loss for all of them shut out. This is a very critical trip ahead of the U.S. potentially going to war with another country, either directly or indirectly, says Rana Natour from Al Jazeera Fault Lines. And now Secretary Rubio is saying he won't take any U.S. press with him. Interesting. None of it actually means good. Like, none of this actually gives me confidence that America is invested in reaching a reasonable conclusion. I think all of this spells that they are trying to go to war. The movement of all of these assets, Marco Rubio coming out with a new designation for Iran today. You don't bring all that firepower into the region if you're not going to use it. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when at this point. And it is absolutely because Israel wants it, for the record. 100,000%. If this is accurate, it seems pretty hopeful as long as Trump is willing to solely focus on the nuclear issue and ignore Netanyahu's demand that the deal also include limits on ballistic missile support proxy groups. Yeah. What are they going to fucking false flag Marco Rubio to justify a war? What the fuck is this shit? No, they're not. Marco Rubio is their champion, dude. He's their fucking loyal servant. So I don't think they would go that way.
He needs to resign.
Meanwhile, if you're wondering like why Democrats are still rerouting AIPAC donations to different candidates, let's take a look. We have the I've had it ladies once again popping off on Hakeem Jeffries, saying that they're like AIPAC compromised.
Hakeem Jeffries is compromised and he needs to resign. Serious members of the Progressive Caucus have got to quit playing patty cake with this guy. He is a corporate Dem through and through, and he is a fascist collaborator. There's no question that Chuck Schumer is as well, but we will not retain our democracy with the Democratic Party taking money from Palantir. We are not going to retain our country with the Democratic Party taking donations from AIPAC. The corporate Dems are controlled opposition. Chuck Schumer is controlled opposition, and it gets worse, you guys. It gets worse. Pop this up. Matthew Eadie recently discovered how AIPAC is hiding its donations using 3 campaigns for, you guessed it, Hakeem Jeffries, aka AIPAC Shakur. I created a graphic to help you understand how the secret campaigns are structured and why you won't be able to see AIPAC and FEC filings, but AIPAC will still be able to track donations through unique IDs and show candidates how much their network has donated to buy pro-Israel votes. And here is the graph. You can see it here, AIPAC. And then we have the Democracy Engine. 3 of these that are funneled through Hakeem Jeffries. So let's review here. Keep this up. Hakeem Jeffries is Palantir first. Hakeem Jeffries is Israel first. How can Hakeem Jeffries care about immigrant children when he doesn't care about Palestinian children, and he takes money from a genocidal government that's ran by a war criminal, a far-right fascist war criminal, Benjamin Netanyahu, that funded Hamas. And then you see all this money they're filtering in to candidates. And so here's how it works, you guys. AIPAC directs its donors to the pro-Israel network website via email campaigns. And then the pro-Israel network uses Democracy Engine as its payment processor. That's AIPAC Shakur, that's Hakeem Jeffries. And then donations are recorded as individual donations from Democracy Engine. In the back end, each pro-Israel network campaign is recorded with a unique ID. The Democratic Party cannot be for a blank check to Israel, who is run by a war criminal, Benjamin Netanyahu. We cannot be this party. This is a uniparty. Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer are controlled opposition, full stop. They take money from MAGA donors, and then they get on camera and lie to the American people. And you might say, Jennifer, quit browbeating Democrats. I can get on here all day long and I can browbeat Republicans, because tomorrow Trump's going to do something more illegal, more unethical. He's going to cover up more child rape stuff from the Epstein files. It's going to happen every single day.